Most people think aging just sneaks up on you. One day you're sharp and moving fine. The next you're fumbling for names, losing balance and waking up more tired than when you went to bed. They call it getting old and say it like it's just something to accept. But what if that's wrong? I used to believe it too. That decline was inevitable, that no matter how careful you were, time always wins. But something shifted in my thinking when I realized your body never stops talking. It just whispers before it screams. You don't need a fancy medical test to know how you're really doing. You don't need to wait for a diagnosis to start paying attention. You just have to notice the signs, because they're already there, in your hands when they struggle to open a jar, in your legs when walking upstairs feels harder than it used to, in your sleep, your appetite, your mood. Some call them symptoms, I call them signals, and I believe they're your body's way of saying, hey, we can still turn this around if you listen. Most people believe longevity is about genes or luck, that you either have it or you don't. But science and life have shown me something different. It's not about chasing youth or reversing time. It's about responding to the quiet warnings before they become loud alarms. I'm 83 now and I still live alone. I cook, garden, walk without assistance. My doctor says my labs look like someone 20 years younger. I'm not extraordinary, but I've become a good listener to the body I live in. In this story, I want to show you 7 of the quietest, most important signs your body gives you after 70. Signs that reveal where your health is headed and what you can still do to shift the direction. Not just to live longer, but to live stronger, more independent, more clear, more alive. Because once you learn to hear your body's whispers, you'll never again wait for it to shout. Ready to listen? Let's begin. My name is Helen Morris. I turned 83 this spring. I live in a quiet town in northern Michigan, in the same cedar-shingled home my late husband and I bought over 4 decades ago. These days it's just me, my dog Jasper, and the garden we both tend each morning. People often look surprised when they learn I still shovel my own walkway, cook every meal, and host Sunday dinners for my 3 grandchildren. But what surprises them even more is how well I remember things. Dates, birthdays, the recipe for my mother's cornbread stuffing, it's all still there, clear as day. It wasn't always like this. When I was 69, things started to shift. Slowly at first. I forgot the name of a neighbour I'd known for years. Missed a step while walking to the mailbox and caught myself just in time. I started sleeping less, waking up more tired. I shrugged it off. Just aging, I said. But inside I worried. I'd watched my own mother fade quickly in her 70s, from vibrant and independent to dependent and confused in less than 5 years. I thought maybe that was my path too. Then one day at my yearly physical, my doctor asked me a question that changed everything. Have you noticed anything new this year? I told him about the stumbles, the forgetfulness, the weird feeling that something inside me was starting to loosen. He didn't panic. He didn't prescribe a pill. He simply nodded and said, "Your body is giving you messages. It's up to you whether to ignore them or investigate." That night I sat at my kitchen table and made a list. Not of my aches or worries, but of patterns. I remembered how often I skipped meals when I didn't feel hungry, how I avoided walking in the evening because I didn't trust my balance, how the nights I stayed up watching TV left me groggy the next day. It hit me then. Aging wasn't one big event. It was a series of small choices or small ignorances that quietly stacked up over time. I decided I wasn't going to let getting old happen to me. I was going to observe, to experiment, to learn what my body was trying to say. In the 15 years since, I've become a student of my own signals. I've tracked what makes me feel sharper, lighter, steadier. I've learned that your body, after 70, becomes more honest than ever and more responsive. That's what I want to share with you. Not my rules, not a miracle routine, but 7 signs that I now pay close attention to. 7 clues that predict with startling accuracy where your health is headed and how to change course if you want to. Because this isn't about avoiding aging, it's about aging wisely, aging awake, aging with a little more power than the world tells you that you have. So let's look at the first sign, one you can test for yourself in less than 10 seconds. Let me ask you something simple. When was the last time you stood on one foot? No support, no wall, just you and your balance. If you haven't tried it lately, I challenge you to do it right now. Stand up, take a deep breath, now lift one foot, even just an inch off the ground, and hold it. Can you stay balanced for 10 seconds? If not, don't worry, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Your ability to balance, especially on one leg, is one of the clearest indicators of how long and how well you'll live after 70. That might sound dramatic, but it's backed by real research. Studies from the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that older adults who couldn't stand on one foot for at least 10 seconds had nearly double the risk of dying in the next 10 years, even after accounting for things like age, weight, and underlying conditions. Why is balance such a big deal? Because it's not just about falling, it's about everything beneath that. Balance requires muscle coordination, brain communication, joint strength, core stability, and even inner ear function. When your balance starts to go, it's often the first quiet signal that your systems are weakening. And falls, well, they're no small matter. 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls each year, and many of those falls lead to hospital stays, long recoveries, and a steep decline in independence. I didn't always understand this. In fact, the first time I noticed my balance slipping, I brushed it off. I was 71, turning around too quickly in the kitchen and nearly tipped over. No injury, just a stumble. But it stayed with me. So I started practicing. Not big workouts or fancy routines, just 30 seconds a day, standing on one leg while brushing my teeth. Then both legs, eyes closed, then walking heel to toe down my hallway. At first I wobbled, but slowly things changed. Now I can stand on either leg for 20 seconds without thinking about it. And that confidence has rippled into everything. Walking, reaching, stepping off curbs, even dancing with my grandson at his wedding last fall. If you're struggling with your balance, don't ignore it. Don't accept it as just age. Because balance can be trained. It can be rebuilt. And doing so might be the single most protective thing you do for your health in the next decade. So here's what I want you to do today. Find a safe space near a chair or counter. Try standing on one leg for 10 seconds. Switch sides. Don't worry if you can't hold it. That's your starting point, not your end. Then, each morning, make it a ritual. Stand while brushing your teeth. Walk heel to toe in your hallway. Take the stairs when you can. Try Tai Chi or light yoga. Even 5 minutes a day can restore coordination you thought was gone forever. And more than anything, listen to what your balance is telling you. Because it's not just a reflection of your muscles, it's a whisper from your future, asking if you're paying attention. Let's move on to the next sign. It's right there in your hands, and it can say more about your health than almost any medical test. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that jars are harder to open these days? That grocery bags feel heavier? Or maybe your handshake isn't as firm as it once was? That's not just about aging. That's your grip strength talking. And science says it's talking loud. In fact, grip strength is one of the most accurate predictors of overall vitality in older adults. Researchers at institutions like Tufts and the NIH have found again and again, the stronger your grip, the longer and healthier your life is likely to be. Why? Because your grip is connected to so much more than just your hands. When your grip is strong, it's usually because your muscles are strong, your nerves are communicating well, and your body is circulating blood and oxygen effectively. It means your tissues are repairing, your bones are supported, and your independence is intact. But when your grip weakens, it's a warning, a quiet one. It's often the first real sign of sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. This loss can creep in slowly. 1 year you feel a little weaker. The next you're struggling with tasks you used to do without thinking. Let me tell you about my friend Helen. She's 82, a retired librarian who still bakes every Sunday. About 2 years ago she started dropping things, mugs, kitchen utensils, even her knitting needles. She chalked it up to clumsiness. But a routine checkup revealed something more. Her grip strength had fallen below average for her age group. That led to more testing. Turns out she had been slowly losing muscle mass for years. And it was affecting more than her hands, her balance, her metabolism, even her memory. The doctor told her, "You're not sick, but you're drifting toward frailty." Helen didn't wait. She began doing simple grip exercises, squeezing a tennis ball using small hand grippers, carrying light weights during her morning walks. She added more protein to her diet and began doing light resistance training twice a week. Today, she's back to baking double batches, and she says she can even twist off peanut butter lids again, which, if you know peanut butter lids, is no small feat. So what does this mean for you? Take a moment right now. Pick up a water bottle, a towel, or even just squeeze your hand into a fist. How does it feel? Strong, firm, weak, unsteady? That feedback is real. If you're losing grip strength, it's time to respond. Not with panic, but with intention. Here are 3 easy ways to start rebuilding grip strength today. 1. Tennis ball squeeze. Hold a tennis ball in your hand and squeeze it as hard as you comfortably can. Hold for 5 seconds, release. Do this 10 times per hand. Do it daily. 2. Carry something. Use grocery bags with handles or small hand weights during your walk. Even holding a full water bottle in each hand for 5 minutes is a start. 3. Grip tools. Hand grippers or therapy putty are affordable tools that can fit in a drawer and be used while watching TV. The best part? Improving your grip doesn't just help your hands, it helps your entire system. Studies show that stronger grip strength is linked to better cardiovascular health, lower risk of diabetes, and improved cognitive function. So while it may seem like a small thing, how you hold a cup, twist a doorknob, or shake a hand, it's actually one of the biggest health indicators you have. Let's not let something that simple slip away, because your strength is still in your hands. Next, we'll look at another surprising sign that predicts how long and how well you'll live. And it has everything to do with how fast you move through life. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you paid attention to how fast you walk? Not how far, not how long, just how fast. It might sound simple, even silly, but studies from major institutions like Harvard and the Journal of the American Medical Association tell us that walking speed is one of the strongest indicators of life expectancy after 70. Let me put it this way. If you want to know how many healthy years someone might have ahead of them, don't ask for their blood pressure or cholesterol. Just watch them walk down the hall. Because your walking speed reveals what's going on inside your body. In real time, it reflects the strength of your muscles, the condition of your heart, the clarity of your brain, and even the resilience of your bones. It tells the story of balance, mobility, coordination, and confidence. Now, I'm not saying you have to walk like you're in a race, but what researchers have found is that older adults who walk slowly, and especially those who slow down over time, are more likely to experience falls, hospitalization, and earlier mortality. Let me introduce you to 2 neighbours of mine, Tony and Elmer. Both 77, both retired teachers, both walk every morning. But there's a difference. Tony walks with energy. His stride is steady and his posture is tall. He crosses the street with time to spare and doesn't need to pause at the curb. Elmer, on the other hand, has been slowing down over the past year. His steps are shorter, he takes frequent breaks, and more than once he's looked unsteady, needing to grab a railing or rest on a bench. Elmer didn't think much of it. Just age, he said. But a checkup revealed early signs of muscle loss and vascular issues. His doctor told him, "Your walk is showing us what your body is struggling to say." And that's the thing. Most people don't notice the change because it happens slowly. You don't go from brisk to slow overnight. It creeps in. A few seconds longer to get to the mailbox. A hesitation before stepping into the street. But here's the good news. You can improve it. Walking speed can be regained, not by walking farther, but by walking smarter. Here's how to start. 1. Practice intentional walks. Pick a short, safe path, maybe 100 feet, and walk it with purpose. Focus on your stride. Are your arms swinging naturally? Are your feet rolling heel to toe? Do this once a day, increasing the speed slightly each week. 2. Add short bursts. During your regular walk, add 10 seconds of quicker steps. Nothing unsafe, just a slight boost in pace. These bursts train your muscles and heart to handle a wider range of movement. 3. Do strength work for your legs. Simple sit-to-stand exercises, light squats with support, or even stepping up onto a low stair can make a big difference in just a few weeks. 4. Posture check. Keep your chest up and eyes forward. Avoid staring down at your feet. When your posture is tall, your walking becomes more stable and efficient. I want you to remember this. Speed isn't about vanity. It's about vitality. A confident, steady pace signals that your body is functioning well, that your brain is processing quickly, and that you still have the strength to move through the world with independence. So, the next time you walk to the mailbox, the kitchen, or even just across the room, notice your pace. Because the way you move today is one of the clearest signs of how well you'll live tomorrow. Up next, we'll explore a signal most people overlook, one that happens quietly in the dark, but has the power to shape every system in your body. Let's talk about the science of your sleep. Here's something people rarely ask themselves, but should. Am I actually resting when I sleep? Because just being in bed for 7 hours doesn't mean your body is healing. Sleep is not just time passed, it's your body's most powerful repair mode. And after 70, that repair mode becomes even more critical. Sleep affects everything: your immune system, your memory, your blood pressure, your balance, your emotional resilience, even your metabolism. And yet, as we age, it's often one of the first things to suffer. I want you to meet someone I once coached. Her name's Lorraine. She's 73, active, sharp, eats well, but she came to me frustrated. I go to bed early, she said, but I wake up exhausted. I keep waking in the night. I never feel restored. Sound familiar? Lorraine's story isn't unique. In fact, researchers from Stanford and Johns Hopkins have found that poor sleep quality in older adults is one of the strongest predictors of declining health, even more than diet or activity level in some cases. But here's what most people don't realize. When your sleep suffers, your daytime health declines. And when your daytime health struggles, stress, inactivity, poor nutrition, your sleep gets even worse. It's a vicious cycle, but it's also a fixable one. Let's start with this question. What does great sleep look like after 70? It's not about sleeping like a teenager. It's about sleeping deep enough and long enough that your body has time to heal, your brain has time to clear toxins, and your hormones can reset. Here are a few signals your sleep may need attention. You wake up multiple times a night and struggle to fall back asleep. You feel groggy, irritable, or foggy in the morning. You rely on caffeine to wake up or naps to get through the day. You notice more aches, stiffness, or tension when you wake up. If that sounds like you, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Here's what helped Lorraine and what can help you. 1. Get morning light. As soon as you wake up, get sunlight on your skin. This sets your internal clock and boosts melatonin production at night. Even 10 minutes by a window can help. 2. Set a bedtime routine. Don't just collapse into bed. Build a signal for your body. Dim lights, soft music, a cup of warm tea. Consistency trains your brain to expect sleep. 3. Avoid screens after 8 p.m. Phones and tablets emit blue light that confuses your brain into thinking it's still daytime. This delays melatonin and shortens your deep sleep window. 4. No large meals or alcohol close to bedtime. Digestion interferes with sleep, so do blood sugar spikes. Aim to finish dinner at least 2 hours before bed. 5. Do a mind dump. Keep a notepad beside your bed. If your thoughts race at night, write them down. Your brain can't rest if it's trying to hold on to tomorrow's to-do list. Within 10 days of making these changes, Lorraine began sleeping through the night again. Her mood lifted, her energy came back. And, she said this herself, I finally felt like myself again. That's the power of sleep, not just rest, but restoration. So ask yourself tonight, is your sleep deep? Is it consistent? Do you wake up feeling refreshed? Because your answer might just predict how clearly you'll think, how strong you'll stand, and how many healthy years you'll get to enjoy. In the next part, we'll explore something a bit less physical, but just as powerful. A daily signal that tells your body whether to heal or break down. And it all starts on your plate. Stay with me. Let's challenge a common belief right now. You don't need to eat as much when you're older. That's only half true. Yes, your metabolism may slow. Yes, your appetite might shrink, but your need for nutrition, real, powerful, body-repairing nutrients, actually increases with age. And here's the most dangerous part. When seniors eat less, they often eat worse. Fewer meals, more processed snacks, skipping breakfast or eating toast and tea for dinner. It's subtle. It feels harmless. But over time, it creates the perfect storm for decline. And it happens silently. Let me tell you about Edna. She's 79, lives alone and always said, "I'm just not that hungry anymore." Her doctor noticed she was losing weight, her energy was dropping, her mood was dulling. But her blood test didn't show anything urgent until her bone density scan came back. She was severely osteoporotic and completely shocked. "I thought I was doing fine," she said. "I don't even feel sick." That's the danger. Poor nutrition doesn't always hurt until it breaks you. Here's the science. After 70, your ability to absorb nutrients like vitamin D, calcium, B12 and protein declines, but your need for them stays the same or even increases. So if you're not eating wisely, not eating enough, your body can't repair tissues, maintain bones, support your brain or power your immune system. Let's talk specifics. 1. Appetite loss is not normal aging. If you find yourself skipping meals or feeling full quickly, it could be a sign of low stomach acid, hormonal shifts, poor hydration, early signs of inflammation or cognitive stress. None of these should be ignored. 2. Unintentional weight loss after 70 is a red flag. It's often a sign of muscle loss called sarcopenia, and that's the slippery slope to falls, frailty and dependence. 3. Lack of interest in preparing meals often leads to shortcuts. Toast, cereal, crackers. These foods are easy but empty. They won't keep your body strong. So, what can you do? Start with one question. What's one food I can add today that strengthens me? Not remove, add. Here are 5 powerful adjustments you can make, starting now. A. Prioritize protein at every meal. Older adults need more protein, not less. Aim for 25 to 30 grams per meal. Eggs, Greek yogurt, lentils, salmon or a good quality protein shake can make a world of difference. B. Eat colour. Brightly coloured vegetables and fruits are rich in antioxidants, your body's natural armour. Berries, spinach, carrots, sweet potatoes, red peppers. These foods don't just fuel, they protect. C. Use healthy fats. Olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds. These support brain health, reduce inflammation and help absorb fat-soluble vitamins. D. Watch for dehydration. Thirst fades with age, but dehydration contributes to confusion, low energy and weak digestion. Keep a glass of water within reach all day. E. Make food a ritual again, even if you live alone. Set the table, play music, light a candle. Eating mindfully improves digestion and brings back joy to the act of nourishing your body. Edna started small. She added an afternoon protein shake, then began making a soup every Sunday she could portion out. In 3 months, her energy returned. She walked more, slept deeper, and best of all, she said, "I feel like I'm rebuilding myself," because that's exactly what food does. So tonight, when you prepare your meal, or choose to skip it, ask yourself, is this helping my body rebuild, or is it slowly wearing it down? It's not about eating perfectly, it's about eating with purpose. In the next part, we'll look at the 6th sign. It has nothing to do with diet or movement, and everything to do with how you handle life's pressure. And it might be the most silent predictor of all. Let me ask you something difficult. When was the last time you truly felt at ease? Not distracted, not busy, not avoiding, but genuinely peaceful? If it's been a while, you're not alone. After 70, most people carry more stress than they realize, and it shows up in ways we don't always connect to emotional strain, like high blood pressure, poor sleep, memory issues and immune weakness. Here's the surprising truth. The way you handle stress in your 70s and beyond may predict how long you'll live, and how well. And yet, it's the least talked about sign of longevity. Let's compare 2 real-life examples. Tom, 74, wakes up and checks the news before his coffee. He worries about the market, his kids, the state of the world. He holds it all in. He says, "I'm just staying informed." But his wife says he's been more irritable, more forgetful, and sleeps less soundly than he used to. Mark, also 74, starts his mornings with quiet. No news, no phone, just a few slow breaths and a short walk outside. He writes down 3 things he's grateful for, even if they're small. The morning sun, my wife's laugh, no back pain today. He doesn't ignore the world, he just filters it. 2 men, same age, very different biochemistry. Here's what the science says. Chronic stress raises cortisol, a hormone that over time damages the brain, weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep and accelerates muscle and bone loss. Stress literally ages you faster. A landmark study from the University of California found that seniors with high perceived stress had significantly shorter telomeres, the protective end caps of DNA linked directly to lifespan. That means how you feel matters just as much as what you do. So what can you do about stress when life is still unpredictable? Bills still come, family drama still happens, the aches still show up. Here's the truth. You don't need to eliminate stress, you need to train your body to process it better. Let's start with 3 practical habits. 1. Breath is your remote control. When your breathing slows, your nervous system calms. Try this. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat for 2 minutes anytime you feel overwhelmed. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part that tells your body you're safe now. 2. Write it out before bed. Instead of letting thoughts swirl in your head, put them on paper. Even one sentence like "today felt heavy" helps release it. Studies show journaling can lower nighttime cortisol and improve sleep quality. 3. Reconnect with someone. Stress shrinks in safe connection. Call an old friend, sit with someone who listens, or simply talk to yourself out loud during a walk. It helps the brain organize thoughts more clearly. Here's a short mantra you can use anytime. I can't control everything, but I can calm my response. You don't need to be a monk, you just need a pause, a moment of choice, a breath between reaction and response. You've already lived through so much. You've endured loss, change, and uncertainty. But how you carry it, that's what shapes the next chapter. So tonight, instead of letting your thoughts run wild as your head hits the pillow, try this. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Say this quietly to yourself. Today, I did enough. Tomorrow, I begin again. In the next part, we'll uncover the 7th and perhaps most powerful sign that predicts your longevity after 70. It's not physical, it's not mental, it's deeply human, and most people overlook it entirely. Here's a question that might sound simple, but don't answer too fast. Who would notice if you didn't show up tomorrow? Not just in a routine way, but who would feel it? Whose life would be missing something if you weren't there? That question, as uncomfortable as it may feel, has everything to do with how long and how well you'll live after 70. Because science is clear. Loneliness is more dangerous than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not an exaggeration. It's from a major meta-analysis of 148 studies published in PLOS Medicine. Social isolation increases the risk of premature death by nearly 30%. We often think of health as food, movement and sleep. But there's something far deeper, connection. Let's look at 2 women. Joyce, 76, volunteers at her local library once a week. She sends birthday cards to her grandchildren by hand. She chats with the cashier at the grocery store, even if the line grows behind her. She says, "I just like feeling part of something." Marie, 78, watches TV alone most nights. She used to be social, but after her husband passed, she slowly stopped going out. Now she says, "I'm fine on my own," but she hasn't had a real conversation in weeks. Joyce's immune system is likely stronger. Her inflammation markers lower, her sleep deeper. Why? Because human contact nourishes the body. It reduces stress, stabilizes hormones, and stimulates the brain. It turns out your relationships are a form of medicine. When you talk with someone who listens, oxytocin is released, the bonding hormone. That single interaction can lower blood pressure, improve heart rate variability, and boost immune function. But here's the problem after 70. People around you may pass away. Children move, communities change. And before you know it, isolation sneaks in, not from lack of love, but from lack of effort or opportunity. So let's ask again, who do you speak to weekly? Who makes you laugh? Who checks on you? And who do you check on? If you feel your world has shrunk, you are not alone, but you don't have to accept it. Here are 3 small ways to rebuild connection. 1. Reach out to one person you haven't spoken to in months. Send a text, leave a voicemail, mail a card, say something simple. Thinking of you today, would love to catch up. 2. Join something, anything. A walking group, a community class, a book club, even a small gathering at the local church or rec centre. The activity matters less than the presence of others. 3. Give something away, your time, your skills, your stories. Helping others is a powerful antidote to loneliness. When you give, you're reminded you're still needed, still part of the circle. Connection doesn't have to be grand. It can be one phone call, one shared meal, one walk with a neighbour, and if you're shy or uncertain, that's okay. Many people are waiting for someone to go first. Let it be you, because here's the truth. The people who live the longest aren't the ones who avoid every health issue. They're the ones who stay connected, who laugh, who share meals, who are part of something, even something small. So tonight, ask yourself, who do I miss, and who might be missing me? Then tomorrow, take a step, send a message, make the call. Open the door, because the heart doesn't age the way the body does. It only grows quieter when it isn't spoken to. Let's change that. In the final part of this story, we'll bring everything together. A closing message, not just about years added to your life, but life added to your years. So now you've seen them all. 7 quiet signals that whisper more than your lab tests ever will. Not just about how long you might live, but how fully you might live the years ahead. And maybe you're feeling 2 things at once right now. A bit of hope, because most of these signs are in your hands, and maybe a bit of regret. Wondering, why didn't I start sooner? But let me say something that matters more than any sign, any statistic or study. It is not too late. Whether you're 70, 80 or 95, your body and your life respond to the care you give it today. Let's look back for a moment. Your ability to balance your strength in a handshake, your walking speed, your sleep quality, your appetite, your resilience under stress, your circle of connection. They're not just random indicators, they're daily reflections of your inner engine, your vitality. And more importantly, they're changeable. Not overnight, not through magic, but through consistency, through one small decision followed by another. Maybe right now you're thinking, I can't fix all of these. But here's the shift. You don't need to. You only need to start with one. Improve your balance, and you may reduce your fall risk and build your confidence. Improve your grip, and you may regain the strength to open jars, carry bags, and hold someone's hand. Improve your sleep, and your brain, heart, and immune system will thank you. Improve your walk, and you may find your lungs, legs, and independence all return. Improve your meals, and your energy might come back faster than you think. Improve your calm, and your entire body may settle down into healing. Improve your relationships, and the weight of loneliness may finally lift. You're not aiming to turn back time, you're aiming to respect time, to use what you've got more wisely than ever before. And that is powerful, because most people don't grow old. They fade, not because of age, but because they forget they still have the power to grow. You are not past your prime. You are still a force of nature, a story in motion, and what you do next is still your choice. So if this message has stirred something in you, a memory, a regret, a sense of urgency, let that be your starting place. Start small. Start today. Maybe you set a reminder to stand on one leg for 10 seconds. Maybe you go for a 5-minute walk with a smile on your face. Maybe you drink a warm glass of lemon water before breakfast. Maybe you pick up the phone and call that friend you've been meaning to reach out to. Whatever you choose, do it with one quiet declaration in your heart. I'm still here and I still matter. Because you do. And this journey of yours, this chapter after 70, it can be your strongest yet. Not because it's free of challenges, but because it's built on the truth you've earned. That a full life isn't made of years, it's made of choices. So take one more today and let the life ahead surprise you. Thank you for spending this time with me. If even one thing you've heard made you pause, made you feel, or made you act, then this was worth it. Now go live like it.